There's this video from Lost Media YouTuber Blame It on Jorge that I can't stop thinking about. It's an upload from July 14th, 2024 about some old Minecraft livestream that's been lost for 14 years, where some guy pulled a Herobrine hoax using a texture pack to make it seem like Herobrine was real. And the video is pretty much classic Blame It on Jorge. He does a great job setting up the myth of Herobrine and how this long-lost livestream really pushed Herobrine into the mainstream consciousness, to the point of Notch himself entertaining it. He even covers all the attempts that have been made at trying to find the original when it became lost media. It's a well-made video that I managed to watch the day it came out, but it didn't really blow my socks off compared to his other videos. So I normally would have forgotten about it within a week or so, had it not been for some random guy showing up a day later to make his private re-upload of the original livestream public, thus marking it as found. Literally only a day out, and Blame It on Jorge's video has already aged like milk. You know what aged like milk means, I don't need to tell you. To be fair to Blame It on Jorge, most YouTube videos are destined to age badly to some degree. Standards change, creators become irrelevant, trends come and go, drama gets forgotten, and the audience moves on, giving the average piece of content a limited shelf life. There are exceptions, of course, evergreen content as Terra would put it, but for the most part, since the very beginning of the site, YouTube videos have been predisposed to be disposable, because that's just the nature of content, alright? Everything has an expiration date. But just because a video has expired doesn't mean it has gone bad, per se. You can still put on older videos from older creators you've grown up with, like Peanut Butter Gamer or DashEXP or How to Basic, and still have a great time. They just aren't necessarily fresh anymore.
Oh, that bitch look bustin'!
Now, when I'm talking about videos that have aged like milk, I'm talking about videos that have gone sour. Videos that may at one point have been completely innocuous, maybe even enjoyable, but given new context have become horribly outdated to varying degrees of hilarity. One I can think of right off the top of my head is Todd in the Shadow's top 10 list of hit songs from 2020, specifically his #1 pick that year that turned sour way faster than anyone expected. The song in question was More Than My Hometown by some rising country star named Morgan Wallen.
I am all in on Morgan Wallen. If you could place bets on a musician's career, I'd put down my entire life savings right now.
Who would go on to be caught on camera just a week later casually dropping the N-word outside of a bar, making the entirety of country look more racist than it already was, and making Todd in the Shadow's video turn sour almost immediately.
Still quite bitter about that.
And as time has gone on, and Morgan Wallen ended up becoming one of the biggest country stars anyways, which I still kind of feel weird about, Todd's video has only proven to age more and more weirdly, especially as Todd himself grapples with Morgan's post-N-word career as more of his songs become hits. It is no doubt proven to be a sore spot for Todd that could stick with him for the foreseeable future. And I, for one, found it super interesting to see how he tackled it over the years. Todd in the Shadows has been reviewing music for well over a decade at this point, having done year-end top 10 since 2009. And given the fact that he mostly covers pop music, pretty much all of his videos outside of Train Records and One Hit Wonderland are inherently of their time.
I just took my crash course in all things fun and GoTA. These guys better not turn out to be flashes in the pan or I've just wasted a lot of time.
He used to be much more angry. He switched rooms like 4 times over the years, and obviously his music taste was quite different back then. But if you ask me, that's what makes his older videos intriguing. Seeing how his tastes have changed over time as pop music itself evolves, it's honestly kind of cool. It's shocking just how good he is at writing even nowadays, and because of that, he has managed to turn what was otherwise a badly aged video into something far more memorable than it would have otherwise been.
Morgan, if you fucking embarrass me again, I swear to God.
It also highlights just how blurry the line can get between aging well and aging badly, to the point where depending on the person, it can be either or. Circling back to that Blame It on Jorge video I started with, I'm honestly not sure I'd say it has aged badly, per se. Obviously it's a little outdated as the lost media in question was found the next day, but the only reason it was even found in the first place was because that random guy mentioned earlier, Brittle Lil Jump, however you pronounce it, just so happened to cross Jorge's video and realized he was sitting on lost media. It was because of this video that this piece of internet history was found in the first place, which, if you ask me, is the best way a video about lost media can end. And it's still a good video that's worth watching anyways, so it's not exactly fair to say the video has aged badly, just quickly. And a similar situation happened with a different video 2 months later where it has aged even faster.
2 steps ahead. I am always 2 steps ahead.
Nikocado Avocado, a notorious mukbang YouTuber you've most certainly heard of, uploaded a video on his secondary channel last year simply titled Bye, where he opens up about how he hates his life as a YouTuber, and how he wishes he still lived a normal life because he can't really go back to the one he had before because of YouTube, and he's stuck where he is because of his own mindset. It's super depressing and hard to watch, even by Nikocado Avocado standards, as it's essentially his rock bottom. Like, this is a guy who basically sacrificed his whole health and self-respect for content, and despite what I might feel about the guy, it's sad.
This country is played with rap, which is not even music. It's noise. It's hate speech.
But it's not the video I'm talking about, alright? I'm talking about a video made about Nikocado's video by who else but Sonny V2. This is his fourth video on Nikocado Avocado to date, having been uploaded on September 5th, 2024, where he literally just summarizes Nikocado's video while adding minimal commentary of his own, saying basically what everyone else has been saying long before him, including himself, that Nikocado needs to get his shit together and go on that weight loss journey if he wants to live. And, well, less than 24 hours after Sonny V2's video, 2 steps ahead happens.
2 steps ahead. I am always 2 steps ahead.
As it turns out, Nikocado has, in fact, been on a weight loss journey this whole time, having apparently been uploading pre-recorded videos for 2 years while in the background losing 250 pounds, along with his hair. It has gone down in history as one of the most shocking moments on the site, and has made Sonny V2's own video age faster than any other video I've seen. Which, to be fair, Sonny V2 wasn't just bashing on the guy, he was giving some advice that Nick's been given before. You know, just go on your weight loss journey and things will be good, people will support you. But still, not even 24 hours. I mean, geez. I do feel weird about Nikocado having the whole internet worry for him for so long, and I do think he's kind of lost some hair on the inside as well. But as things stand, at least when it comes to his health, assuming he stays on track and comes back in those mukbangs, I think this is a happy ending for him. Not so much for Sonny V2, but who gives a shit about him? Unfortunately, most videos that age badly do so for less than happy reasons. And this is where these kind of videos start to turn real putrid to the point where you'll likely never want to watch them again. If you were to watch any of Nick Crowley's videos on YouTube's darkest channels or videos, then you'd know how tragedy can affect a piece of content after the fact. Sometimes the creator dies, whether due to natural causes, unexpected happenings, or whatever it is their content is based on. Daredevil stunts, chain smoking, driving a Tesla, things like that. Especially in these cases, it's haunting to look back at a now deceased YouTuber's old content, knowing it's that content that ultimately led to their untimely end. But other times it has to do with the creators turning out to be bad people. Minecraft YouTubers who turn out to be PDFs, family vloggers who turn out to be, or really anyone who gets exposed for being shitty, especially to children. But even if children aren't involved, and no one dies and no crime has taken place, content from disgraced YouTubers can still bring on those same feelings of betrayal. Even content about disgraced YouTubers from back when they weren't disgraced can feel weird to watch. Take MrBeast, for example, YouTube's biggest fallen angel. Having once been the biggest and most influential YouTuber on the planet, all the controversies surrounding him and his crew last year have shaken YouTube to its core. Even though he's still the biggest YouTuber on the planet and he'll probably be fine, he's not exactly respected anymore, and pretty much everyone who's ever glazed him in the past probably feels stupid for ever doing so. Including me. Yeah, I made a video defending MrBeast once, if you can believe it. It was one of my earliest videos back when I had even less of an idea of what I wanted this channel to be, and at the time, MrBeast was still widely beloved. even if I never watched him before or since. He had recently uploaded that one video where he cured 1,000 people from blindness, and when Twitter called him the literal Antichrist for it, everyone, including me, clowned on them. It doesn't matter why MrBeast is helping people. All that should matter is that he's helping people. Of course, now we all know that they were right to be sketched out by the guy, even if donation shaming is still stupid. And now I have to deal with having this video in my catalog as a reminder of my mistakes. And while on the topic of my own mistakes, I may as well go through all my old videos that I think have aged like milk for some good old repentance. My video about the worst children's book on Twitter has aged horribly because Twitter is no longer Twitter. My Ludwig video has aged badly because I've fallen off, though it also aged very well because I accidentally predicted it would get 1 million views. My video on YouTube Premium has aged kinda badly because I still use YouTube Premium to this day. My video on creative music is outdated because that Flying Beagle album I mentioned is now in the Content ID system, meaning anyone who used the music before has likely been claimed. Though I did warn it was a possibility, so don't sue me. My video on AVGN not being good anymore is just wrong, alright? He's still good even if not quite on the level of Golden Age AVGN. My video on trying and failing to switch to DaVinci Resolve, while I still stand by many of the criticisms I've made in it, has also aged quite a bit, as evidenced by the fact I'm using DaVinci to edit what you're watching right now. My Minecraft video aged badly because it was just a phase. My apology video for missing an ite in my outros video has aged badly because, well, I missed another one in my video about slop, so here you go, I'm declaring it here. Shut up. My slop video has aged badly because I decided to call the Moon Channel slop, despite the fact he's not. And last and certainly least, my video on good YouTubers that have turned bad sucks. It just sucks, alright? It's an awful video. The only part I still stand by is that Illuminati segment. And besides that, this video is it's just weird. Not to mention this rather bizarre controversy between them and Bidet Labs. I tried limiting my selection to YouTubers I personally followed. So like Linus Tech Tips, Illuminati, ProJared, and that's it. Alright, I never covered other YouTubers like Sneeko and EDP and all the disgraced Minecraft YouTubers because I wasn't familiar with them and I wasn't willing to put into research. And you know, if that's the way I wanted to do things, I just feel like it would have been better if I had waited an extra year to make it, as 2024 has had several new examples of good YouTubers turning bad that I actually used to watch, like Review Tech USA or MKBHD, even Brad Tasted Music, although he hasn't really turned bad so much as he crashed out and is now a shell of what he once was, but you get the point. I just feel like I would have had a lot more to talk about had I waited an extra year. Also, seriously, Linus Tech Tips front and center, all of a controversy that, while still disappointing, hasn't really affected much in the long term. I mean, he has gotten into a snafu recently involving his sponsorship of Honey, which is that coupon app that basically scammed every person alive, which Linus knew about and said nothing for 2 years, but even then, putting him front and center, even if it's just for a meme, just doesn't make sense. And neither does bringing up ProJared as an example of a YouTuber who turned bad, alright? Why is he here? He beat his allegations, he's still doing fine, and I still enjoy his content through this day. Or do I? You see, here's the thing with ProJared. He used to be one of my favorite YouTubers at some point. His video on Sonic Adventure 2, a game I've never even played to this day, has inadvertently changed how I view myself as a person.
Lucky Charms cereal is filled with a lot of gross bits that we don't like eating, but damn if we don't love those marshmallows, and those marshmallows make it all worth it. And that's the case with Sonic Adventure 2.
The way I would put it back then is that people with autism are a lot like bowls of Lucky Charms. You know how Lucky Charms have those gross grain bits no one likes, but they also have the marshmallow things that, you know, make it all worth it. And yes, I stole that analogy from ProJared. His old videos meant a lot to me, even ones as recently as 2018, you know, the year before his cancellation. And when ProJared was initially accused of all the things he was accused of, which I won't get into, alright, the info's out there and Drew the King has a good synopsis of it, I lost a little faith in humanity. I never really cared too much before about how he was behind the scenes, as even back then I recognized that parasocial relationships are bad and that you should never meet your heroes, but I still felt incredibly hurt, in a way. It was that same feeling of betrayal people probably felt with Plasma Mastodon. And even after he pretty much cleared his name and managed to keep some semblance of his career alive, that feeling I had hasn't completely subsided, although now it's more like this sadness for him rather than straight up hatred of myself for ever watching him. It's hard not to have this whole controversy in the back of your mind as you watch his content, especially knowing he once had over 1 million subs. Seriously, he's the only guy I know of who has lost his 1 million sub status. I mean, Revere Take USA would have been the second one, but he deleted his channel before that happened, so never mind. Good fucking riddance. Nowadays, he's known more as the guy who beat cancel culture, rather than the guy who compared Sonic Adventure 2 to Lucky Charms. And while, for the most part, it's not that big of a deal, alright, he's still around, he still makes videos, I still really like them, especially his series on the Final Fantasy series. Some of his older content, especially the ones where he collabed with his former friends, are kinda depressing to look back on, knowing what would befall of him. And there's one particular video on ProJared's channel I think suffers the most from it. A video I once thoroughly enjoyed 10 years ago that I now feel nothing but emptiness whenever I watch it now. Comment Hate, uploaded early 2014, is a recording of some old raggedy-ass panel from MagFest 2012, featuring then members of Normal Boots, Peanut Butter Gamer, John Tron, The Completionist, and of course ProJared. This panel is just the boys reading hate comments they've gotten over the years and laughing about it, being good friends and enjoying each other's company. And it used to be a big source of comfort for me, being a fan of PBG and Jared and occasionally watching John and even The Completionist once or twice. Nowadays, however, this video just makes me feel sad. Throughout the decade since this was uploaded, 3 of these 4 people have been in controversies of their own that have affected their reputations beyond repair. John Tron outed himself as a racist, The Completionist was outed as a fraud, and ProJared, well, yeah. As it stands today, Peanut Butter Gamer is the only one of the 4 who hasn't been through some kind of major scandal, with the worst things he ever said being the comments he read out that were directed towards him in this panel. And while Completionists aside, all these guys are still around to some extent, they're well past their prime, and otherwise aren't associated with each other anymore. Which leaves this video as a painful reminder of what was once a tight-knit friend group of content creators I once respected, torn apart by controversy. It's not just that they're no longer friends, it's that there's no universe going forward where they can or should be friends. That's why, for me personally, this video might just be the single worst aged video on the internet. A relic of the good old days that once provided a lot of comfort for me that I now can't get a single ounce of enjoyment out of. It's a reminder that things are different now, and there's no way to go back to the way things once were. And I don't want to go back to the way things were, knowing what I know now. This video brings back memories, sure, but I don't want those memories. All they do is remind me of how awful my taste in YouTubers have been. I wish I could end on a more positive note or some nugget of wisdom, but I honestly don't know how to go about it. I could pull Master Oogway and quote his "today is a gift" saying, but gifts often become lost to history, and history isn't always fun to look back on. And goddammit am I tired of all the mystery of the future, especially nowadays. I could say to treasure the good ones like ABGN or MadPat or AmpLemon or Bill Wirtz or Peanut Butter Gamer or DashEXP, any of those guys, but the cynical side of me can't help but worry that one or more of these guys could live long enough to become the villain. Matter of fact, any number of things can happen to anyone I talked about in this video. Blame It on Jorge could delete one of his videos, thus making it lost media in and of itself. Nikocado Avocado could gain all his weight back. Any one of these shitty MrBeast exposés can actually hold weight and get Jimmy in trouble. Or Jimmy could finally break his silence and put it all to rest like he should have been doing this whole time. Something disturbing could happen to Nick Crowley, thus making him a part of his own series. Peanut Butter Gamer might get cancelled and now all 4 of the old god will be gone. Hell, even I could possibly f*** up at some point and have it ruin my reputation and my content in the process. I like to consider myself an unproblematic individual who stays in his own lane, who doesn't do freak shit or start drama with anyone, and I trust myself to stay that way for the foreseeable future. But how can you trust me when I say that? You don't know me. I'm already fooling you into believing I'm as put together as I sound. Just look at how much dead air I end up cutting out of my voiceover. Right? You don't know me, and I don't know any of these people either. Any one of them could be hiding some deep, dark secret that, if exposed, would make me not want to watch their content in the first place. At this point, the only thing you and I can really do is accept that anything can happen and that any video you see can go sour at any moment. Sometimes milk just goes bad, expiration date be damned. After all, that's just the nature of content. Standards change, creators lose their edge, trends become tacky, drama is close to inevitable, and the audience moves on. And who can blame them?